Okay, welcome back. Same day, different topic, because it's me, right? So I wanted to talk about trauma while it's on my mind because, well, all these topics have been on my mind, but now I'm getting settled in, so I can chill and talk about stuff, right? And so trauma, obviously, we all know what trauma is, right? It's things that happen to you against your will, things that shake your core being, shake up your beliefs, um, things that you can't get over, things that cause a lot of pain um, and confusion. And I really wish that I had a dry eraser board right now, erase board, but I don't. Um, Damn. Yeah, I don't have anything that I could try to illustrate with this. So use your imagination. I'm going to describe it as best I can. So let's just say, oh, I almost flipped this couch over. Um, or what is this? A recliner. Um, let's just say, okay, in your mind, picture a gingerbread man. And so, you know how the gingerbread man, they always have like this white icing around the outside of the body. So let's just say inside of that white icing is the body, right? The physical body, our physical body. And within that physical body, somewhere, the spirit. Mm, yeah, let's go with the word spirit. I don't really distinguish between the word spirit and soul, but I know some people do. I don't get it because to me it's the same thing. It's that thing that isn't seen, but obviously that things that causes the body to be alive. When people die, then that spirit and or soul has exited, and there's nothing there, so it looks all creepy and dead. And so that's the only way that I can say it. Anyway, outside of the white icing of your little gingerbread man is what's called the ethereal body. And so let's take our little gingerbread man. They're born into the world, right? And they have some messed up parents. And the father yells at the little gingerbread boy, and the mother hits the gingerbread boy. And so what's happening when the mother's hitting him is obviously physically is causing him damage. But you know something? The physical body heals from damage a whole lot easier than the ethereal body. The ethereal body is also connected to the mind. So as the father is yelling at him, he's breaking him down. The ethereal body is suffering damage in the area of self-esteem, in the area of confidence, in the area of self-identity, because let's just say his father is calling him dumb, stupid, and retarded or something like that, even though there's nothing wrong with him. But let's just say he got in his way. So he's just like, move your stupid, retarded ass out of the way. Um, this little gingerbread boy thinks, oh my God, like I'm stupid and retarded. And it weighs on him like a cloud. And where's that weight coming from, or what is it actually attached to? It's the ethereal body. I hope I'm explaining it right. Um, when, let's just say, same kid, I'm sorry I'm messing his old life up. Same gingerbread boy, right? Let's just say his uncle comes over and he's like, oh, I like you, gingerbread boy. I think you're great. And he's like, oh, great. Somebody likes me. Haha. And this same uncle is there and later sexually abuses him. The body heals from the trauma. The ethereal body carries that trauma with it. And so he might have blacked out and not realize what the hell happened to him and wake up and just be like, oh, that was a bad dream or some shit. And meanwhile, his ethereal body, he feels even lower self esteem. He feels confused about his sexuality as he grows up. He feels different from other people, or but he can't explain it. You know what I mean? Um, what else do I want to say? Sexual traumas, physical traumas, like abuse. What else do I want to say? Um, Other traumas. Here we go. Um, let's say the gingerbread boy goes swimming, right? And he's swimming out with his brothers and sisters, and they're all got their little cookie butts in the river, right? I'm tripping. But let's just say all these little cookies are out here in the river swimming, and I don't know, something happens to Gingerbread Boy, and he trips on a rock out here in the river and hits his head. That's blunt force trauma. and the body will heal. But the ethereal body is receiving these shocks, this damage, right? And not only is he receiving a head trauma, but he's under the water, so he's also traumatized by the water. Okay, I know his life is all messed up. We did all kinds of mess to this gingerbread boy. Anyway, later on, when he's older and all messed up, good and messed up on drugs and some shit, because he's trying to forget about why his life is so terrible or can't figure out what in the world's wrong with him, he sees a shaman. Or other people practice this as well. A spiritualist, the spiritistas, they practice it. I think Lukumis, they do too. But anyway, you can go get like a limpia, like a cleansing, and the cleansing helps pull things out of the ethereal body. Versus a shaman, and I think some Reiki practitioners, if I'm not mistaken, they can do the same thing, pulling things out of the energetic body so that you yourself are released from certain blockages and bondages inside of your life. And so, um, how do I want to explain it? So, like, okay, physically, when you get a limpia or a bath, those herbs and whatever they mix it with, some people don't just use water, you use like coconut water, coconut milk, different things like that. Those herbs have certain properties to remove certain things from you spiritually. The earth is here for our healing, is here for our well-being. And so when you get a limpia, then it pulls those things from the ethereal body and you'll feel better. However, it's not the same. I'm not saying don't go get one, because you definitely want to get one. Everybody, you need to get one on a regular basis. Honestly, we live in a gross world where there's so many negative and um, low vibrational entities on this planet. That's comes with the territory. That's what happens when you get here. There's no such thing as banishing it out. You can only keep them off of yourself and off of your own ethereal body. Anyway, a shaman or a spiritista, the people who are able to look and view at your ethereal body and see exactly what your traumas are and where they're stuck at, they reach in, they remove those things. It's a lengthy process. I'm not going to lie. And I will say that it's easier in shamanism than it is as a spiritual practitioner, just because you go into another state of consciousness where you can get rid of it easily. Easier to me. Um, what else did I want to say? So taking out the trauma. The other thing that people don't really talk much about is, okay, so you know how they say a person has demons? That, for example, I remember as a Christian, I read this book one time where this woman was talking about witchcraft and people who call demons. I don't know what particular sect of witchcraft she was in, but I ain't into that shit because I don't want to find out. But I don't know. I guess she wanted to find out. She was into that shit. And so the woman who wrote the book said that her mother put her blood on a satanic as a satanic offering to a nurse in a hospital because she was born with like a cleft lip and just like severely deformed in the face. And the woman was like, "Oh, I can make her look normal, and just give me some blood." And the mom did it, according to her in this book, right? And that, as she got older, she realized she had superhuman strength and all these other like psychic abilities and musical talents. Like she just pick up an instrument and play it wonderfully, but she never made like friends and stuff like that. Anyway, fast forward. Basically, in the book, she says that she got tricked into going to a coven because they told her it was church camp, and she got tricked into going to this coven, and they wouldn't let her leave. They forced her to sign her name in blood in this contract, and that like a week after she did it, then demons started appearing to her and saying that they come to give her power, and she was someone who was very thin and frail and didn't have any friends, and people treated her bad, and they just kind of used her for her gifts and talents that she had because she had many, and that she desired power. She desired to feel beautiful and powerful and all this other kind of stuff. And so she allowed the demon in. And then, after one came, then many came. Other ones came like, oh, we'll give you intelligence. Oh, we'll give you beauty. We'll give you strength. We'll give you, et cetera, et cetera. All these things that make her feel awesome about herself. And that, when it came time to have this stuff removed, when they were really literally making her sick, causing her cancer inside of her body and also the kind of stuff, which is all possible. Everything is real. I'm not saying it's not real. The point is that I want to get to, let me get to the point, right? Um, what's actually happening when people are having these demon spirits attacking them and entering them and quote unquote attaching themselves to them is an entity attachment. That's the word for it. So same gingerbread boy, same white line. Outside of that line, that's where the demon is attached to. And what some people don't know is that not only do demons attach to this ethereal body, but ghosts can attach to them, as in a spirit of a human being that has passed on. They can attach to you, and other earthbound spirits, benevolent, malevolent as well. They can attach to your ethereal body and affect you, affect the way you think, affect the way you feel about yourself. Um, they can affect your thought process. Um, I saw a story one time where someone kept having a whole lot of pain in their foot. And apparently, at some point in time, they had stumped their foot in a house of a friend. And in that friend's house, that their great aunt or something like that had died. And it gave entry to that woman into his foot. And he was constantly feeling foot pain all of the time. And he had sort of like this personality shift where he kept saying he kept feeling confused, which come to find out that woman wasn't aware that she was dead and things like that. And it left him with this feeling of confusion all the time. We as human beings, we think we're in control, but we're not in control. This is why we need the ancient world. We need our old practices. We need indigenous practices and Aboriginal practices. We need them in our everyday life. You need to practice the habit of cleansing yourself, getting yourself cleansed, and protecting yourself. We live in a world where not only do people walk around with their, head uncovered, where your crown chakra is the most penetrable, the most easy thing to be penetrated is your mind, right? And people walk around with it uncovered. And certain areas it's cool, it's good, you know what I mean? But other areas, it's the worst thing that you want to do in life. Um, People don't cover their bodies up the same way that people did in ancient times because everybody thinks that you're supposed to be just so free and so da 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 da. But I don't know. I guess some of us are more empathic and more porous, more susceptible to feel all of those things around us and know that we need to cover up to protect ourselves. And other people aren't. They don't feel it the same. They just later on realize, okay, I'm 50 and I ain't getting nowhere in life. Or I keep having the same boyfriend literally for the past 20 years, even though I've been with 20 different men. Things like that. People live these lives in circles, or they don't grow up. They don't prosper in life because this is what trauma does to you. This is what spiritual attachments do to you. They hold you back. Um, if you went through trauma, you're aware you went through a trauma, and you refuse to heal it, it doesn't matter how many times somebody puts blessing oil on your forehead and slaps the shit out of you and says whatever kind of prayer all loud in your face, it's not going to remove an entity. It's not going to heal that trauma. Um, and I'm not like making fun of churches and stuff like that. I'm just saying that some of that stuff is pointless. It's pointless and it doesn't heal. And I don't like that. I don't like bullshit. Like, don't be bullshitting around when it comes to people's healing and when it comes to people's well being. I know people within my own family. Now, I've learned all of this stuff. I've, some of it's revealed to me, some of it I go and look for as in book knowledge. Um, but I have family members that I try to impart the same knowledge to it, and they're just like, So that's why. That's why. And they don't actually want to do it. And you have to be willing to commit to your healing. I'm not saying it's easy, but it ain't that hard either. Like, what's harder, being in the same spot for 50 years, or, you know what I mean? Being in the same spot, or spending a couple of months on getting yourself really deep cleanse and really removing the trauma and really removing the entities and all that things that have impressioned themselves. Like, some of them things be stuck, damn it. There's a Alba Wyman. I love watching her videos. Now, she practices a sort of hypnosis called QHHT, I think it's called, and it was invented by Dolores Cannon, where they go in and speak to the entities and ask them who they are, what their story is, and then they just ask them to leave, and they do, and it's very interesting. She's on YouTube if you want to look her up, Alba Wyman. Um, I like that form of hypnosis. That's another thing I want to study so that I can offer that service as well. But anyway, that's what happened when gingerbreads experience trauma. That's what happened when gingerbreads experience spiritual, entity attachments. The Aether Body is the most important body that we have, honestly, more than your physical body, because let's just say you got a fat ass person that likes to eat burgers and all this kind of shit, and they die and they're not aware that they died of a heart attack at the table, and they go and ask, this is really what happens. We are light, right? We look like light to spirits that are passed on, to things that we can't see around us. They're always around us, we just can't see them. We look like light. When they get good and ready, they will attach themselves to our ethereal body because it's light. Just like, when you turn your outside light on and moths and stuff come around that light, it's like that. They attach themselves to that light. So if some spirit of a human spirit of a person that likes to eat hamburgers and fries and stuff attaches itself to you, and all of a sudden you get this appetite, roaring appetite that you don't normally have, and you pick up tons of weight and pick up tons of weight, and then the food, of course, affects your mood. It affects your work ethic, your way of being, your mannerisms, all of that kind of stuff. And people are like, oh, why are you eating so much? And you're like, I don't know. I'm just hungry. You get what I mean? It's happening all around us all the time. I just figured I'd say something about it. And if you know it's you, get help. Heal the trauma. Get the entities removed from you. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm for real done. I'm not making no more videos today. For real. Have a good day.